Salut. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you're making fun of me, or if you have mental health issues. I came here to share my theories, making it clear from the start what they were about. Admittedly, I was very clumsy. A lot of parts are illegible because I jumble numbers like an autistic person, and on top of that, I wrote it in a rush, translation errors, etc. You, on the other hand, have come to this thread about 10 times, mostly to make derogatory and unsubstantiated remarks. No man, it's just nerds making cool music. You're reading way too much into the stuff. You're going through a lot of mental hoops here in order to keep your number wang from losing the subjective meaning you have projected onto it. Been there, done that. It's quite unhealthy behavior. I mean it in the best possible way, but have you ever thought about talking to a mental health professional about this OCD meets angel number stuff? I got that from searching Wikipedia for 5 minutes. I wouldn't trust an LLM to do any real detective work here, let alone connect one to your personal belief system in any serious capacity, or any musical band for that matter. My friend, please talk to someone who is not on the internet about this, preferably your human doctor. I have good hopes that there is professional help that fits with you. Anyway, not to derail this thread further, and because I don't feel like interacting with an LLM, I'm going to stop interacting with it now. Yo, peace. Yeah, better to ignore the walls of LLM slop hastily copy-pasted by someone suffering from chatbot psychosis. In short, you throw all these bogus attacks at me without addressing my arguments in the slightest. And then you give me this completely unreadable wall of text, where you just state things as if you knew everything, and where 90% of what you say barely makes sense to me, if at all. I'm sorry, I tried to read it, but around 4/5 of the way through, I stopped because it became torturous to continue. And if you're trying to tell me that my writing has this effect on people, then thanks for the lesson. I'll pay particular attention to that. Because, I don't mean to be harsh, bro, but either you had all this generated by a bot to troll me, or you actually wrote all this, and then, A, you're a true initiate and I don't understand a thing, which proves my imposture, or B, if you really believe what you're saying, then it's possible you have mental health issues. Since you're a real regular at the bar, greater than 10k posts, the most plausible explanation I find is that you tried to read what I wrote, it struck a nerve, and so you reacted rather childishly, first by publicly calling me crazy or LLM, and then by churning out something unreadable with symbolism that doesn't correspond at all to what I've learned over my years of research. So there you have it, no need to elaborate further. If you're a true initiate and I completely misunderstood what you were saying, then I hope to quickly realize my mistakes. But everything in your messages suggests you're simply losing it. I sincerely hope my words didn't offend you, but I had to be honest. And I'm convinced that sooner or later, we'll be on the same wavelength. Until then, take care, my brother Blackheart.
I did not write a single word of that post, it is slop. I'm just trying to hold up a mirror. I mean it with great love, respect, and I'm simply worried. It is certainly interesting that your response mirrors my reaction to your longer posts. Even just seeing the volume of it makes it seem kind of crazy, huh? Like the writer would have been better off spending their time doing other things instead. Can you imagine someone spending this many precious waking hours writing all this about a band? It is also for reference, so people here can see what BOC conspiracy slop looks like when generated by an LLM. It looks kind of similar in a way, doesn't it? At any rate, I don't mean to yuck your yum. You do you. If you want to spend your free time writing stuff using patterns seeking number one that the band themselves explicitly and repeatedly refute they're doing in their interviews, then go for it. I won't stop you. I've been around these parts for over 20 years now. In that time I have made quite a few BOC friends and met a ton of people from this community. You are not the first one that nosedives into these Geo Gotti-induced numerological conspiracies finding patterns where there are none. Long-ass posts with tons of references to correlating numbers used to be a running joke here actually. You would also not be the first one that does so while not taking their prescribed medicines and have a mental breakdown. That is not to say that will happen, but I've seen it happen to friends more than once. This fandom can be like that too and I resent that part. Frankly, it gives the music a bad taste in my mouth, not the band's fault off.
it with great love, respect, keen. That's how you love and respect people? I don't sense any love in your messages, and even less respect. I'm simply worried. Why is that? I said it numerous times. Since I see things this way, I'm happier than ever. I don't know if I'm correct or not, but what is certain is that repaired me and most of my obsessions and mental disorders. So now, basically, I'm at least fine every day. Most of these days I feel fulfilled and close to God, whereas I was depressive to the suicidal point all my adult life before I really believed in that. So, why are you worried? I already answered to you for most of the questions. So, doesn't your worry reveal something else? Not about me, but about you? You're not the first one that nosedives into these GeoGaddy-induced numerological conspiracies, finding patterns where there are none. Again, how do you know that? And how can you make statements like that, with all the interviews we talked about, and also Hopekeeper? I'll answer you one last time, but I'll stop because honestly, this already feels like a waste of time. Yes, BOC has said several times that fans go too far in making claims about the hidden meaning of their music and their work. Yes, BOC has said that humans are wired to detect patterns, and that you can make any symbol say anything. You can read the Kabbalah, and twist the meaning of a sentence to fit, etc. But BOC has also admitted that they manipulate their listeners with advanced techniques. The term P-primer seems to correspond to a psychological primer designed to induce a certain mental state, and that they leave subliminal messages and secret arcane messages. And I have found a global picture that fits very well with BOC and much more. So, BOC warns us that we shouldn't take our theories as truths. We can only speculate about them, try to decode their work, try to find meaning in it. But they clearly invite us to do so, and unequivocally. You fixate on what I'm saying, brandishing one or two sentences, but you forget all the other sentences from BOC, or work from BOC fans, that contradict your point of view. And I already explained mine. If BOC are who I think they are, of course they won't say we manipulate the listeners to elevate them toward God. Don't you understand the essentiality of free will in this story? They can't tell us what they really do, because that would ruin everything. If they're who I think they are, they reveal some truth in the interviews, with some other more nuanced statements in order to muddy the waters a bit. And you make a lot of assertions when, essentially, you don't know what you're talking about, like any of us here. Unless you're very close to BOC, and even then, if they are who I believe they are, I imagine that those close to them who know will say nothing, and those who don't will say they're normal, because that's how transcendent people seem to appear. Jesus seemed normal, except at certain moments, notably the Transfiguration, and that's precisely why those who didn't listen to him with their hearts took him for a madman or a blasphemer. Like the writer would have been better off spending their time doing other things instead. But, my brother, you don't get to tell me how I should live my life. If my passion is detecting symbols, finding connections, developing theories to try to understand the world, well, then I'm in my element because that's what I do all day. And I hope I will be even more fulfilled while realizing my musical dream, God willing, Blackheart. The fact you didn't understand a bit of what I'm saying, whereas various other BOC fan here said they liked what I say, doesn't that make you wonder if you might have missed something? And I thank everyone who supports me, Blackheart. P.S. I admit that earlier, my reaction was poor, at least on this point. It's a bit much for me to come along and throw out my exotic theories and call you crazy. But on the other hand, it reveals my mental stability. The text you presented to me was completely wild, and because of pareidolia, some elements resonated with me. Anyway, I hope we've covered everything. Winky face.